Hello folks, and welcome to another edition of the Dr. Mark Foster Show. Today I will be talking about another unusual topic, and that is the issue of spiritual healing and perhaps a relationship between spiritual healing and contact experiences or angelic interventions or whatever other term one wishes to use for them. Something that I noticed just the other day, literally on April 27th of 2013, just a few days ago, at about 4:30 in the afternoon, is that somehow I no longer needed my hearing aids. And that may sound kind of odd, because I guess normally most people, if they don't need their hearing aids, they would notice it, but my hearing was always pretty good. Apparently I did have a moderate or slight mild hearing loss. At least that's how it was diagnosed by an audiologist. And I purchased hearing aids, and they certainly, at least at the time, did seem to improve my hearing. But at some point, about 2 years ago, and oddly, it was around the same time as I had my initial experiences with a chalice of pure light, with a light being or emanation, as flashing lights or lightning bolts, a being whom I think was Hadrat Sultan Bahu, although it might very well have been my spiritual mother or my earthly mother or father, or any one of a number of other people, perhaps all of them working together. In any event, since around that time, in 2011, my hearing has been fine. And I know this because it occurred to me that the reason why I initially went to the audiologist was because I was having difficulty hearing my students who were talking in the back of the room. I would miss some words. I would especially miss a lot of consonants. I would hear the vowels and miss the consonants, and if you miss a lot of consonants, then it's difficult to make words out. And so when I was tested, the audiologist, who has an office in a neurologist's office, the audiologist said that yes, I do indeed have a mild hearing loss problem, and I paid, I think it was about $6,000 for those hearing aids, and they're just sitting to the right of me. Haven't used them in about 2 years. Perhaps at some point in the future I might need them, but at least for now I don't seem to, and I think that at least in my own life that has been somewhat miraculous. When I thought about this a few days ago, I went looking through various Baha'i texts, trying to find a passage that might in some way relate to my experience, and I found this passage by Baha'u'llah from the Surah Erais, and it is from the book Summons of the Lord of Hosts, pages 154 to 155. Say, spirit, mind, soul, and the powers of sight and hearing are but one single reality, which hath manifold expressions, owing to the diversity of its instruments. As thou dost observe man's power to comprehend, move, speak, hear, and see, all derive from this sign of his Lord within him. It is single in its essence, yet manifold through the diversity of its instruments. This verily is a certain truth. For example, if it directeth its attention to the means of hearing, then hearing and its attributes become manifest. Likewise, if it directeth itself to the means of vision, a different effect and attribute appear. Reflect upon this subject, that thou mayest comprehend the true meaning of what hath been intended. Find thyself independent of the sayings of the people, and be of them that are well assured. In like manner, when this sign of God turneth towards the brain, the head, and such means, the powers of the mind and the soul are manifested. Thy Lord verily is potent to do whatsoever he pleaseth. So, what that experience did to me is it reminded me of that passage, which I think is a reference to the rational faculty or rational soul or human spirit. As I see it, this rational faculty is not individual. It is universal. It is shared by all of us. We are all partakers of a portion of this rational faculty. It is what gives us life. Our souls are formed out of this rational faculty, this tremendous human power that we have. And so reflecting on my experience made me realize how dependent I personally am upon the rational faculty. And as I'm speaking now, I am inwardly reciting praise and thanksgiving to this great rational faculty, this wonderful creation of God, from which I, as a human soul, have emanated. I've also thought about Abdu'l-Bahá's discussions of the different types of healing, both the material healing as well as the spiritual healing, and the fact that both of those are necessary. Simply relying upon prayer and spiritual healing without pursuing material healing is not a good idea, but receiving physical healing without prayer is likewise not a particularly good thing to do. Both avenues of healing need to be pursued. Well, I have done that, but through some miraculous intervention in my life, somehow I just don't need the hearing aids anymore. Now, I realize that according to the Baha'i teachings, miracles are a proof for the bystander only. Well, I am the bystander. And I'm not even sure exactly what kind of proof this is, if any. But certainly it is an example in my life of how, when I am tuned in to the right spiritual frequency, that good things happen. Another example which occurred to me was about 2 years ago as well. I was driving to work, taking the usual route that I take, getting onto I-75, Interstate 75, and which is only about 2 blocks from where I am right now, from my home. I can almost see I-75 from where I am right now on the 3rd floor of this place. And just as I was about to go through the light, which was green, for some reason, I did something that I don't normally do. I glanced over to the left to make sure that nobody was going. Normally, out of habit, I'll just drive. And as I glanced over to the left, I saw a huge semi, a huge truck, went speeding through the light. I glanced up, and there was another truck driver who was stopped at the light, and he wiped his forehead like, shoo, kind of relief, and as if he, obviously, anybody who drives a truck is aware of the tremendous danger that truck presents to small cars, and my car is a small car. So I think that those two miraculous events, first, the apparent healing of my hearing, and second, the guidance that was given to me to look in that direction where I saw the truck, were both signs of God. They were signs of my inner contact experience, the angelic intervention which was made for me in my life, as my heart has opened, and I have attempted to turn my heart more closely to my Lord. Until next time, this is Dr. Mark Foster. Have a good one.